Yo, hello everybody, welcome to Hacking Self-Stories. Today we are talking about my brand new site, Clough Rd, and how well it did last week or how well it didn't do. Do you know what? I've just had a video done. One of the things that I'm a massive believer in, two things really. Make the outside of your storage facility look as beautiful as possible. Make sure it stands out as much as it possibly can. And also, get some amazing photography, spend money on it, get an amazing video. Customers love it. And it just gives an insight into that business. It gives an insight into, the business. It gives you insight into how you operate, what you are. I've got a friend who I was talking to this last week about the state of their business. And I was saying, look, it gives people an insight into who you are and how you treat that business and how you treat your customers by the outside appearance. People judge you so much on the first impressions. And that's the only thing they've got to go at. As a business, that's the only thing they've got to go at is your first impressions and what you look like from the outside. They can't go on anything else. They don't know how good you are at customer care. They don't know that you will you won't walk over broken glass for customers, but you know what I mean? You really will go the extra mile for your customers. That's what we always say. We go the extra mile, but they don't know that yet. All they can do is judge you by your website and by how you look from the outside. And so that is why we need to do the best we possibly can do in making sure that we stand out and we look good. Clough Rd, I think it looks fantastic. And we spent a lot of money. It was by far and away not the cheapest people to use. We use VIP Creative, a video company in Hull, and I could have got it done for less than half the price, but I know their work. I've seen their work. I know how much they care. When the guy first came down, he was saying, why don't you do this? And I was like, holy shit, I've never thought about that. And he goes, yeah, because I'm looking at it from fresh eyes. I don't know self-storage, but you do know self-storage, so you miss some fundamental steps that I won't miss because I'm treating it like a customer who we're seeing self-storage for the very first time. Like, oh, I love this. Whatever it costs, I'm there. I am paying it. And yeah, we're going to put that on the website very, very soon. In fact, it should be on now, but because I've told the team to do it yesterday, Monday. But for me, Claire, my wife says to me, why are you watching that video again? I said, Claire, because it makes me happy. I just love seeing it. I think it's such a great job. I think it shows the self-storage facility in such a good light. And if somebody were to see that and then compare us to Armadillo, there's only one place you're choosing. There is only one place you're choosing. In all things being equal, the price, etc., you're going to choose us. We're a better location, newer building, better security. Why would you use T&H Containers down the street when you can use us for not a similar price? We're much more expensive, but you pay for quality. And our site looks quality. And so that's two takeaways this week is we've just got the video done last week. I put it on my LinkedIn if anyone wants to see it. So you pay for quality. So your videos, your images, people judge your business so much. So make sure the outside looks amazing and pay for videos, pay for photographs. Just pay that extra little bit of money. Don't go and take it around with your iPhone, etc. You can do better than that. It doesn't have to cost the world. I mean, you can get some a photographer that I use. It costs 200 quid or something for two of them for half a day. It's so cheap. And then VIP Creative, I think they're double that price, 400 quid. So that's for videos. That's for photos. For videos, I think it's about £1,000. But they was there all day. Getting a 2-minute video. But yeah. For me, it's worth it. It's an investment. You got to think about things that they're not a cost, they're an investment. And an investment gives you an ROI. That I know will give me an ROI. Anyway, Clough Rd, how well it's been doing. I am over the moon with Clough Rd. And the reason I'm over the moon with Clough Rd is because we are 60.58% full. What the fuck? Yes. 60.58% full. The only problem is now we put our prices up, by the way, because how you act in lease up is different how you act in maturity. We're not at maturity by any stretch of imagination, but we have to slow this moving. We have got to slow this growth down because we're 10 weeks away from before we can get a shot fit. So we have to stem this growth because at some point we're going to be turning away customers, especially coming to the busiest point of the season as well. So I know that there's no point being cheap now. There's no point being the cheapest around. We have to be the most expensive again. And the reason that is because, again, like I said, but I know we're going to fill up whether we're the cheapest or whether the most expensive. We are going to fill up this site before we have the shop fit done in what, 10, 11, 12 weeks. So yeah, we've got to be very, very mindful of that. So why would we charge, I don't know, £15 per square foot instead of £20 per square foot when we're equally going to be short of space anyway? So yeah, we're almost acting like we're in maturity, which we're not. This, by the way, this is only phase 1. So phase 2 is completely full internally. And that hopefully will be done in, like I said, 12 weeks. So at the minute, phase 1, half of the building downstairs, 60.58% full, which is phenomenal. That is 5,770 square foot in use. That is actually in use. I'm blown away. I'm absolutely blown away. Right, let's have a look at some more information that I can give you here from the store dashboard. The monthly recurring revenue is, so I still don't understand this interface very well, and it's not Stora's fault, it's my fault, because Angela keeps explaining it to me. But what I got 2 different figures, so let's have a look. I'm going to try. Right, I believe it's this one. There's 2 different figures. One is yesterday's figure, and this is today's figure. So the monthly recurring revenue, I mean, I'll tell you both of them. It's saying here £11,734.54, which is incredible. That is, by the way, I do want to put a caveat here, because that is without discounts. For me, Stora display it, your monthly revenue before discounts and including tax. So that, yes, it's £11,734, but I've got some 8 weeks half price there, and well, I've got loads of 8 weeks half price there, and I've got VAT on that. So for me, it's not a true figure. I've got a meeting with Stora this next week, because they want to ask me some questions about reports, etc., how we'd improve it. And I think it's fundamentally a fantastic product for first time users. There's no question you use Stora. If you're coming to the business, you use Stora. It is without doubt the easiest to operate, etc. So you use Stora without a doubt. If you've got more than one site and you've got 3 or 4 sites, then Stora is going to get there, but it's just not there on the reports yet. For me, I'm struggling a little bit because I'm a man who loves my reports, and I just struggle a little bit. It's like, for example, this report here doesn't factor in mid-period. Yeah, so I don't know why it just don't tell you the exact figure instead of telling you including tax and not taking into consideration your discounts. So for me, it's almost like a vanity figure, this one here. It's not the real figure. And I would rather know the exact real figure rather than the vanity figure. But like I said, the reason I love Stora so much is because they genuinely care about improving their products. Don't get me wrong; it's a software that's it'll be improving every single month or quarter. Even in the future, it'll be improving all the time, because there's so much to do. There's so many ways that you can improve every product out there. I mean, I use Space Manager for my other sites. There are so many issues with Space Manager, and they've been around for years and years and years. But I love the reports. But guess what? I've had to personally buy them reports. I've had to personally build them reports, and it's cost me, I would say, over £5,000 we've paid. Well, definitely over £5,000 we've paid Space Manager in building our own reports, so I get the information that I need, that I want. And don't get me wrong, I definitely have too many reports. I don't need as many reports as that. But I'm a reports guy. I love my reports, because don't forget, I'm not working in the business. I'm not ever answering the phone. I'm not ever in the office. And so from a person like me who's running the business but is never in the office, I'm in my own office, but not actually at work, then reports are all I've got into seeing exactly how it's doing. So I see an overview by reports. And so that's why it's critical for me. So on this report, and by the way, this is a monthly recurring figure that I've been giving you consistently. So at least that you know that it's consistent from last week and the week before. You know that figure, you can see it going up, but it's not the correct figure, if that makes sense. But it gives you an insight into the trajectory of the company of Clough Rd. So the figure's saying £11,734, but that's saying here, total value of active subscriptions before discounts, including tax. So before discounts is 8 weeks half price, etc. So yeah, I would rather it factor in the discounts, because I mean, most of my customers, we've only been open, but this is the 14th week, so most of my customers will be on 8 weeks half price. So yeah, it's not a true figure, but at least you can compare from previous weeks. So it's £11,734.54. So which is it's good. It's good. It's heading in the right direction. 60% occupied, 60.58. Hell, do you know what? I'm going to say 61%. We round up here, baby. We round up. 61%. Yeah. Right. What else can I tell you? Rent per square foot is £13.03. Let's say for some of all current active subscriptions after discount and excluding VAT, multiplied by 12. So yeah, it's very, very low, £13. But I'm going to have to look into that because I don't think it's actually that low. Interesting. But we'll see. Right, so at the minute it's £13. Like I say, we're still officially in lease up. A lot of customers haven't had the price increases. Well, and nobody's got a price increase yet because we only give people price increases after 6 months. When the people have been in 6 months, then we give you a price increase. So we've done no revenue management of this site yet because we're still in officially lease up stage, and we will be all year, by the way, because when we get the new phase done, then obviously it's going to take a year to fill up at least. Well, in my projections, I've actually projected 2 years to fill up, which it won't take that long, but I'd rather project lower than higher, because if your projections are if you can't hit them, then you're going to be in cash flow problems. And like I said, I'd rather be correct than I'd rather know a problem coming around the corner than not know a problem coming around the corner and just be blasé and expect, oh yeah, we're going to fill up in a year. But yeah, but what happens if you don't? And then you're in all sorts of you're in a world of pain. And trust me, I've been there. So that's why I know I've done that stupid projections for Willoughby and not understood the cash flows, etc. When we first started 5 years ago. And I have learned from my mistakes. I never want to be in that position again. So therefore, my projections are always going to be lower than the actual, well, hopefully lower anyway. We'll soon see. I'll keep documenting the process and hopefully we'll fill up before 2 years. Right, let's have a look at some more stats and here we go. I did have them all ready, by the way, for you. Here we go. There they are. Right, so we had 35 quotes last week. Really, really busy week. I'm just going to take a swig of my protein shake. I don't know why I did that, because if you're watching on LinkedIn or YouTube or whatever, I get like marks where I drink my protein because it's chocolate protein. Anyway, and also it tickles my throat and I start coughing and I can't talk. I remember I did the Young Self-Storage Association or something. I did a talk, well, not a talk. I was presenting in one of their monthly meetings, and I literally had a protein shake before I went on. And this is the first time I realized. This is the first time. I don't know why I did that. So it was the first time I actually drank a protein shake before speaking, and I could hardly talk. My eyes were watering because I was coughing so much. I was like, oh my God, these people are going to think I'm absolutely useless and I don't know what I'm about. And it was horrendous. There's probably, if you log on there, there's probably a YouTube video of it. And I was trying to get through. I was like, and I was losing my voice. I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? And it was just, yeah, it was an unpleasant, really unpleasant. But I'm sure I'll give many, many people a laugh because I just looked so unprofessional and like tears streaming down my face. I was like, oh my God, what the hell's happening? Pull yourself together. Anyway, so 35 quotes last week, which was really, really busy week. Number of reservations for Clough Rd was 7, and that was for a total of 745 square foot. Reservation conversion rate was 20%. It's lower than where we want to be now. I want to be hitting that 30% every single week. Last week, don't forget, we hit 50%. So overall, we're definitely in the right direction, but last week was a little bit lower, 20% conversion. Exactly the same, by the way, for Willoughby. So it was across the board. Maybe it's because we had a lot of staff out. Here we go again. And I only had a sip, and this is what it does to me. So maybe it's because we had some staff out and we didn't. I don't know. That's an interesting one. We single manned a lot last week, and so maybe that has something to do with it. Why conversion rates were down. I'll talk to the team. Yeah, interesting. We'll have to see if we can. This is why I love doing these podcasts, because I get to talk about the figures, but then when I talk about them, I'm thinking, maybe that's the reason. And so yeah, I'll have to mark that and just think, all right, single manning, conversion were down. Is that something we need to look at? Do we need to hire more staff so we don't single man anymore when people are off? Interesting, really, really interesting. I'll talk to the team about that as soon as I finish this. Right, number of move-ins. We had 7 move-ins last week. That was 745 square foot. So we reserved 745 square foot, and we had 745 square foot moved in. So the conversion rate again was 20%, which for move-ins we want to be around about 25%. Amount of rooms moved out was 0. We had nobody move out. In the last 3 weeks at Clough Rd, we've had 0 people move out. In the last 4 weeks, we've only had 1 person move out, and that was 25 square foot. It's bananas. For chain rate, I don't know what is happening with Clough Rd. I don't know why people aren't moving out. We've been open 14 weeks and we've only had a handful of people move out. This is the 14th week, by the way. Is it 4? This is the 15th week? I don't know. So the chain rate is incredibly low. So maybe that that will start slowly declining. The amount of the trajectory of, sorry, I just heard my son moving around. So maybe the trajectory of fill-up, maybe the occupancy is going to start slowing down purely because we're going to have a chain rate. We have to have a chain rate. You don't in self-storage keep every single customer you get. You're going to have some sort of chain rate somewhere. I just don't know. I don't understand why we haven't been having a lot of chain rate yet. I've been comparing it to when we opened Willoughby, and it's night and day. We had loads of move-outs, not loads, but we had move-outs early stage at Willoughby. Not loads, but we still had them. And for some reason at Clough Rd, we're not. Maybe it's because it's such a beautiful facility and people love staying there. I don't know. I'd like to think so. What else can I tell you? I can't tell you bugger all else, I'm afraid, because that's the only information I have. Is there anything else here I can tell you? Discounts, what's this tab? Oh no, 50% off, yeah. Invoices. Gross revenue, I can tell you we took £492 yesterday. Oh, today? Oh yeah, yesterday, when you all seen this yesterday, yeah. No, man, that's it. That's all I've got. That's all I've got for you dudes. I can't find anything else to tell you. That's all the information I have. Okay, so Clough Rd, in a nutshell, Clough Rd is awesome. I love it. And yeah, I can't believe I've been talking for 18 minutes. It's been like a counseling session. Yeah, I think Clough Rd is a fantastic site and I'm just excited to open up more. Boston is opening soon. Boston, we're coming to get you. It's only a small site though, so it won't impact any other self-storage in Boston. It's only going to be 6,000 square foot, so it's only a small site, but that will, I think on my projections, I think I projected around about 70 grand profit per year, and I think that'll take, I think I projected, anyway, about 18 months to fill up. So within 18 months, we'll have an asset there that is worth, I don't know, £500,000, and it's a new site. Again, it's going to look like Clough Rd. Same people are doing it. Yeah, we'll have an asset over 500 grand, and we'll also be making like 70 grand a year from that, which will be awesome. Right, guys, and by the way, there's another place I'm looking at as well. I'm really, really excited. I can't tell you anything about that for time being, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a podcast telling you how I found this location, what I look for, what I look at, and go into all that good stuff as well, because so many people have been asking me about how I find self-storage facilities. And do you know what? Unfortunately, from experience, all I can say is that it's a lot of, the Americans call it driving for dollars. You just drive. You find a place and you drive around that whole sodding place, and you speak to local agents. And I've got loads of agents that are out there looking for sites for me. There's so many sites that I've been so close to signing, and then something's gone wrong, and then we've pulled out of it. And I ain't even told you about most of them. We've got a problem at the minute with our Sunderland site as well. So that might not be going forward, and I'll do another podcast about that, explain it all. So yeah, to get an actual site, there's a lot of hurdles to go through, and I want to expand as quick as I possibly can do. I'm really excited about one site we've got coming up. Dave Davies is actually coming up on Wednesday. Again, I think that I'm bloody good at understanding what a location needs. I genuinely think that, excuse me, I genuinely think I know what I'm doing when I'm looking for a site and looking at the criterias, but you get emotional about it. It's always good to have an outside opinion. So Dave Davies, I'm paying him to come up. We're just literally going to pay him to have a look at the site, and it's a full day. But for me, it's worth it because I just want his opinion. And it's what I want him to say. Well, fucking hell, mate. It's fucking no brainer, mate. Fucking no brainer. Fucking no brainer. That's exactly how he sounds, and that's exactly, Dave, how I want you to say it sound on Wednesday. That is when this podcast goes live. That we're going tomorrow. But obviously, we can't say where it is yet because there's loads of hurdles to jump. And like my good friend John McGlynn said, that why do you share so much when it hasn't been signed, sealed, and delivered yet, you idiot? And I'm like, good point, John. Yeah, good point. I won't do that anymore. So I'm only saying stuff when it's actually signed, sealed, and delivered. And I've probably gone a bit too early on Boston because Boston is signing this week, but I feel comfortable with the contractors and I feel comfortable with the site. So that's why I've said it a little bit too early. Right. All right, guys, girls, I'm going because I'm just blabbering on as ever. Right. Love you. Appreciate you. Have an awesome week. And tomorrow we're talking about why Netflix is self-storage. See you soon.